What's going on, guys? Xenix back here with another top 5 of that episode of The Flash. So I'm going to get into my review and kind of recap of what happened this episode. So Barry travels to the future in hopes of finding out what Savitar's identity is, but upon arrival, he encounters his future self. And he also encounters Cisco, and he learns what happened to Cisco and why he can't really help out around Central City. So he asks his future self, that's Barry, if he knows who Savitar is and if he can help him at all. And the answer is that future Barry says is no, he has no idea who Savitar is. And it actually wasn't him who locked up Savitar, it was a scientist. So Barry goes on a search for answers. He doesn't like that his future self told him, no, I have no idea who he is and I don't know how to stop him. So he visits all the members of Team Flash, which in the future is actually completely disbanded, and he asks them what they know about Savitar or just the past in hopes of gaining pieces of information that might help him put things together. And we learned that Barry really can't do anything in the future to help himself in the past. At the end of the episode, future Barry gives past Barry a USB that contains files on how to possibly create the thing in the Speed Force that Barry traps Savitar in the future, and he needs specifically a scientist to do that, so he's gonna try that, I'm guessing. On to number 5. Mirror Master and Top are both still villains in the future. Although this future that Barry traveled to is only one outcome of many that can happen, this tease by the producers might mean that we will get to see them more frequently in the next season. Number 4. Barry from the past finds out that the promise he made with Iris at the very start of this episode, which was to not let her death drive the team apart and be there for Joe if he needs it, we figured out that that promise is not fulfilled at all. And Future Flash tells us this. Future Flash's reasoning behind this is because he was so torn apart after he spent an eternity holding Iris before she died. And we know how Barry, whenever he's in the lab with Julian or something, I think it was whenever they hated each other, we saw like the water droplet just going down, and how Barry's reality can like really slow down if he wants it to. So the Future Flash is saying that he just held her there for as long as he could before she actually died. And we also learned that he could not stand living in a world without Iris. So that's why he splits apart from the team and wants nothing to do with them. Number 3. Barry from the past chooses to reassemble the team in the future, or at least most of the team, because Iris is dead in the future. We learn that Wally's spine is broken by Savitar, and Caitlin went to become Killer Frost and just went full Killer Frost mode and hasn't turned back since. Number 2. Upon reassembling the team, Top and Mirror Master rob Central City Jewelers and Barry shows up. They use their powers in conjunction, which is different from what they did in this season of The Flash, where one would use one power and one would use the other, but they weren't together. They didn't do it simultaneously, and they didn't do it on one person. But in the future, I'm guessing they figured this out, that when they merge their powers together, it's even more difficult to try to get out of. Top makes reality all distorted, and it's kind of like a Doctor Strange effect where everything is just everywhere, while Mirror Master somehow can manipulate anything that she distorts in that reality. So there was a building full-fledged coming at Barry. Number 1, in the vibe that Cisco got at the start of the season when he saw Killer Frost and himself battling, the future Cisco revealed to us that near the end of that fight, she actually froze his hands and caused Cisco to be unable to use his powers. So in the future, he has 2 robotic hands, and he is unable to use any of his vibe abilities because his hands are where most of them come from. He shoots his hand pulses, which can do vibrational damage, but it comes out of his hands, and he lost them. So this is tough for Barry, because now Barry has to not only fix what happened to Iris and try to figure that out and try to stop him from doing that, but we also have Cisco being caught in the crossfire by Killer Frost. At the end of this episode, we see Killer Frost aligning with Savitar, and we actually learn that this would happen earlier in the episode because future Killer Frost told past Barry, and she told him that they would align together and fight Barry essentially. But in order for Killer Frost, present day Killer Frost, to trust Savitar, he exits his suit, and from what it looks like, Savitar's a man, but it wasn't noticeable as to who was in the suit when he came out, but it definitely looks like a man. And Killer Frost also in the future told Barry that it's quite a surprise who Savitar is. So I hope you guys enjoyed my recap / top 5 of this episode of The Flash, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.